least good morning on the West Coast. It may be other times where you are. Today I'm in a what is the word? Contemplative mood. Contemplative mood. It was a beautiful walk this morning. It had been raining here for a little while, and so I take these mindfulness walks, if you're not aware, and I really just enjoy allowing new thoughts and new perceptions to arise. And I really feel like I've grown as a person by just allowing. And so today I wanted to speak about seeking happiness. And it's such an interesting concept to think that you are always doing or looking for something like happiness, right? It's like this little thing that you can never quite get hold of, or if you think you find it, you're like, I got it. And then it slips through your fingers like sand or water. I think that is the problem, right? We're trying to hold on to something that's a concept. It's a concept that each of us build in our mind that has to be certain checkoffs, right? Like, this is when I'll be happy. When I've done this, got that, have this, doing that. And then when we're there, it's like we might be happy for a brief moment. It could be a period of a day, weeks, months, whatever. But then the unhappiness, the feeling of unease kind of creeps back in. And I think suffering is a piece of our lives that many people don't want to accept, especially here in the West. I think we live in a place of plenty, and so many of us have so many quote unquote blessings that we think all life should be hunky-dory, happy. And when turbulence arises, we haven't quite learned how to deal with that. And we think we've done something wrong, or something's missing, or someone's to blame. And so we are unhappy because life isn't showing up the way we want it. I think the weather's a perfect example. The weather's either good, the weather is bad in our minds, because it's not living to the standard of what we think the weather should be in that particular day. So let's say I am back in Colorado and it's a blizzard. For someone like myself, I could look at that and go, oh, the weather's bad. I don't ski. I don't do outdoor snow sports. It's too cold for me to go for a walk, yada, yada. But someone else might see that same storm and have a different perspective and go, this is the best day. It's a ski day. We're getting 12 inches fresh powder. Totally different perspectives, totally different responses based on the constructs and the concept of what's good or bad in our lives. And so, that's where I'm sitting today. And I'm going to go a little deeper, and I didn't want to put this as a title. But can we find happiness in facing death? And it could be a physical death. It could be your own death. It could be the death of a loved one. But I'd say death of things, of circumstances, good or bad, depending on how you're looking at it. What is there about this inconsistency and the always changing, evolving moments that we're living in that maybe we can actually find joy, peace, or quote unquote happiness? I almost feel like happiness now is a shallow word, but I would say happiness to me encompasses joy, peace, gratitude, this sense of being, right? And how do we find that? And it reminds me of back in October when I found, I was at the ACLM. I was in Denver at a hotel. I had just got done running on the treadmill or outside. I don't remember. I walked into it had to be on the treadmill because it was cold. And I was wearing shorts. And I walked into the downstairs breakfast area just to see if they had anything that would fit my plant-based diet. And I came upon the fruit bowl. And some of you are aware of this story. And I think it was around my birthday, so end of October. And I did this video on it. And it was in this corner. And suddenly this bowl of fruit just appeared. But on top was this Asian pear. And this Asian pear literally spoke to me. It glowed. And I just went to this Asian pear and I got the most It was like looking at a newborn baby. And I just literally scooped it up and I thought, how precious and lovely and what a wonderful moment. And I got filled with this sense of just bubbly joy that just exuded me, right? It just overtook me, this Asian pear. And it was really such a fascinating experience because I had not experienced anything like that before. That wasn't a profound moment of what we would call a profound moment: birth of a child, getting married, watching your daughter, graduate, or whatever it is. But I found an Asian pear in a fruit bowl in a hotel. Okay, why would that do that? And I've been thinking about it since, and I will tell you that elated emotion, that sense of peace and joy and just, wow, Asian pear and gratitude, or such a simple thing, was so profound. It stuck with me for like 2-3 days. And I was like, how do I seek that? I want to attain that. I want to keep that in my life. And what was interesting was, I think it was that piece of me trying to seek it and do it and find it that actually made it dissolve faster. And so now I look back at it, I was like, this is a matter of a moment, right? Looking at the joy in every moment. If you hear yipping, it's Daisy having a dream. I have no idea what's going on in her dream. It's probably a squirrel. But if you hear that, she's not hurting. But anyway, I think it's just that piece of getting the moment and understanding that every moment has happiness in it. It has joy in it. Whether this are life circumstances or what you would deem pleasant or unpleasant. And so, you know me, I like to make notes. Let me share some thoughts I had with you on that very topic. So really, I think what happens when you like understand that every moment can be full of peace and joy. And it doesn't mean that they're always ideal circumstances, but you've accepted the fact that this is what this moment is. The life has shown up in this moment, at this very moment, which is really all we ever have, is the moment you're in, as it is, right? I can complain about it. I can complain about someone cutting me off. I can complain about, the rude customer service person. I can complain that the electricity went. I can complain about the weather. I can complain that my hair is doing its thing today. I can complain about I have sniffles. I can complain about a lot of things. Or I can just accept them, go, okay, it is what it is, and move on. I can either just let that lie and let it be, or I can decide in a place of non-resistance and non-complaining to make a different decision, right? We can do this with our health. We can do this with relationships. We can do this with anything in our life. Now, does it mean it'll be an easy thing to do? Let's say you decide that you need to do something different, like embrace healthier or different habits, leave a relationship, start a new job, move to a new location. Yeah, no, it doesn't mean that it'll be easy, but if you accept this is where the circumstances are, I think what you will find is that life will, one, get easier, right? Because you're not creating this internal friction, and life will probably get better because your attitude's different and you're going to project differently and you're going to attract different things. And I know it sounds hokey pokey, but I swear to goodness it's true. You can trust me or you can just keep on suffering. But anyway, here are the things I came up with that might be helpful. What does that do? When you're looking at understanding and facing that all things come to a death, right? There's birth and there's death of many of circumstances, of relationships, of life, of a variety of things. So we embrace the impermanence, right? So that's the important piece. If we embrace the impermanence nature of our existence here on earth, it can really shift our perspective, right? And rather clinging to this false sense of permanence, we can learn to accept that change is a natural state of their human experience. And it takes a lot less stress, right? You're not always trying to control things and put things in a place and hold on to them. Living in the present moment, I think that's pretty straightforward, that you're living this moment that's constantly changing. It really helps you savor the richness of life and then finding the joy in that current moment. It really will clarify your priorities. Nothing like understanding that if everything is impermanent, then Why are we worrying about these small things, right? Why are we making the anthill, what is it, anthill into a molehill or something like that? That's the saying goes, into a mountain. When really if you think about it, we're little human beings on this earth. There's like 7 or 8 billion of us in this vast universe that is infinite. So if someone cuts you off in traffic, take a breath. It's okay. Anyway, what I've noticed is that I've started looking at things, and some of the thoughts and things I've had before is quite insignificant, and it kind of makes me giggle. I laugh at myself more, which is great. Anyway, I also found that when you do this, you're deepening your current personal relationships, your relationship with yourself. You don't take yourself quite so seriously. Your thoughts change, and your responses and your interactions with people who are close to you, people who you just meet on the street or walking by, those are different. It's a different quality because I feel connected to every living thing, everything, right? I know that we are connected, and there's just a deepening understanding of the sacredness of every moment. And yeah, and I think this also allows us to find our purpose. And I don't even think we have to do anything to find our purpose. I feel like it'll evolve out of you. It will feel, something will happen that makes it like suddenly an aha moment, or you will have certain clarity that's like I knew I needed to be a doctor when I was little. Like it was a knowing beyond comprehension. And I think that now that purpose can change. I feel like as we grow and things occur in our life and we evolve as humans, that purpose may turn into something different. In being accepting of that and not expecting a certain thing to happen, that is our purpose. Like it has to be this definition, but just understanding there's a direction of our purpose and being detached from however that outcome or form comes about is how we really find joy in it. It's exciting. It's an adventure. And then I think this allows us to build that resilience or that growth mindset, right? So I think by having this attitude and understanding really allows us to just be able to bounce back, so to speak, from the bigger life circumstances. Like if you feel like the waves just keep coming and beating you up, the moment you surrender to it, you suddenly are able to be washed ashore, right? Or you're able to float. The waves don't seem quite so big and things seem a little bit calmer. And and I think the biggest one for me is this will help you transcend fear. Because when you transcend fear, right? Because we have fear because we're always trying to control things. We want to know, as humans, we want security. We want to be able to predict things, which causes fear when we haven't had that in our lives. But when you embrace the fact that life is ever changing and that we can't control these circumstances, the fear just kind of goes aside. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have fear in a life-threatening circumstance, like something moves you to move, but I would even say it's not fear. It's a moment of awareness, and you act the way you should in the current state. Like certain things you have to move quickly, like that I would say that is awareness. You may be reacting, you may have a surge of feelings that feel like fear because our body's always responding to unpleasant feelings. Like that might be what we conceive as fear. But for me, I think fear is just this angst or this disagreement with the present moment, right? And that creates anxiety and fear and worry, and cause it. We think about the future, and the future will happen the way it happens, right? So the only thing we can do is this moment right now. So anyway, I just want you guys, everyone, to have this understanding and presence and peace. I just really I want this for you so desperately. I just really want everyone to feel this. And so I think this world would be a very different place if we got out of the way and just, let the being of our human beingness be and evolve and coexist together like that. So anyway, I don't know. I felt really strongly about this. I know you guys like to hear about plants, but I just really wanted to share this message. So anyway, I hope you found it helpful, and thank you for always for listening. And I truly, 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 truly am sending you love, joy, and peace. And I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, so I'll be back then tomorrow or whenever this the next inspiration comes. But yeah, I hope you guys found something helpful here, and just come open with an open heart and mind, because I think the peace and joy and happiness that you've been seeking is just around the corner in this next moment or in this current moment. So anyway, thanks everyone. I do appreciate you.